You know that feeling? Like you're climbing a ladder, putting in all the work, getting higher and higher, only to look around and realize the ladder's been leaning against the wrong wall the entire time? Well, today, we're going to talk about that. We're digging into this powerful idea of how to stop playing by someone else's rules and start winning the game that actually, truly matters to you.
So just look at this choice right here. On one side, you've got this high-stakes, lucrative career on Wall Street. On the other, a quiet, serene life totally surrounded by nature. Now here's the thing. Neither one of these is better than the other. Not at all. They're just different games. Each one has its own set of rules, its own way of keeping score, and its own definition of what it means to win. The real key is knowing which game you're actually playing.
And that leads us to this really big question. I mean, think about it. A lot of us are high achievers, right? We're good at winning. But if you're collecting all the traditional trophies of success, the fancy titles, the awards, the recognition, and you still feel this kind of nagging sense of disconnection, well, it might just be because you've become a champion at a game that was never really yours to begin with.
Yeah, there's a name for this feeling. It's that dissonance you get from playing the wrong game. It's that quiet but, persistent sense that you're succeeding on a path that doesn't really connect with your deepest values. It might be a path that society or your family or maybe even a younger version of yourself thought was a good idea.
And this quote, wow, it just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It's such a common experience for people who, by all outside measures, are absolutely crushing it. But listen, this isn't some kind of personal failure. It's actually a good sign. It's a sign that your internal compass is working, and it's trying to point you toward a more personal definition of success. Okay, so how do we fix this whole thing? It's simple, but not easy. We have to find our true game. You see, the most elite performers out there, they get this. They understand that not every game is worth their time and energy. The goal isn't just to win. It's to win at something that gives you that perfect blend of mastery and meaning.
All right, here's the part where we get to work. Let's quickly walk through these 5 steps. Step 1, analyze your peak moments. Think about this. Where does your mind go right after a big win? That little moment reveals your true untapped desires. Step 2 is about identifying what truly intrinsically energizes you. Step 3, the private pursuit test. This is a big one. What would you do if absolutely no one was watching? This helps separate real passion from just wanting a pat on the back. Step 4, what's left when you strip away all the rewards like money and fame? And finally, step 5, put it all together. The patterns that pop up, they're going to point you straight to your true game.
This quote is just perfect. It perfectly captures what happens when you do that kind of deep work. Winning your game might not mean a bigger title or a fatter paycheck. Nope. It could mean impressing fewer people, but having a massive impact on the few who really matter to you. It's all about depth, not just scale.
So once you know your game, the very next step is to craft this incredibly clear vision of what winning actually looks and feels like. And this isn't just, setting a few goals. This is about literally creating your future reality. I absolutely love this phrase, a memory in waiting. See, you're not just making a wish list here. You're actively building a future memory. You're immersing yourself so deeply in all the sensory details of your victory, what you'll see, what you'll hear, how you'll feel, that it starts to feel like it's already happened. It becomes inevitable.
And to make that vision real, the focus has to shift to who you're becoming, your evolving identity. Because winning isn't just about what you get, it's about who you become in the process. The person who achieves that big goal of yours, they have different habits, a totally different mindset, maybe even brand new skills. The who you become is what's going to power the what you do.
Okay, let's try a little thought experiment. It's powerful. Imagine it's day 91. 91 days from now. You've just spent 3 solid months in focused pursuit of your game. What does your life look like? Now, the source material is super clear on this. For right now, completely forget about the how. Don't let realism creep in and ruin it. Just give yourself permission to fully live in that future for a minute. I know, this can all feel a little bit abstract, so let's ground it in a real-world story that just brings it all to life. Let me tell you about Noel and Maria, the founders of a really cool coffee shop in Brooklyn called Sips. So Noel and Maria, they started out with this really powerful shared dream. They wanted to create the anti-Starbucks of Brooklyn. And their passion was just infectious. It was fueling this incredible growth. On the surface, it looked like they were playing the exact same game.
But then they hit a wall. Their third location was really struggling and the stress was just piling up, and that's when they did that day 91 visioning exercise we just talked about. And well, what it uncovered was something neither of them ever expected.
It turns out their visions had gone in two completely different directions. Maria saw growth, more locations, building this cornerstone of the community. She was playing the business expansion game. But Noel? When he envisioned his perfect day, it had nothing to do with the business. It was about the simple joy of spending a quiet afternoon with his 2-year-old daughter, Anna. He realized in that moment that his true game was being a present father.
And recognizing that difference, that was everything. It was the key. They totally restructured their partnership. Noel stepped back from the day-to-day chaos, and Maria took the reins and drove the expansion forward. And the result? 6 months later, Maria had successfully opened a 4th cafe, and Noel had found that beautiful balance he was craving with his family. They were playing totally different games, but for the first time, they were both truly winning.
That story just shows you how powerful this process can be, right? So let's bring it back to you. As you start to define your game, you got to remember this. Your vision should feel ambitious. It should give you that feeling of productive discomfort. You know, that mix of excitement and, oh man, can I do this, nervousness? That feeling means you're stretching beyond where you are right now. If it feels too safe, you're probably not dreaming big enough.
But there's a huge difference between a big vision and just an unfocused fantasy. For example, saying, I'm going to open a Michelin star restaurant in 90 days. That's probably a fantasy. But what about this? I'm going to master 5 signature dishes with a renowned chef in 90 days. Now that is an ambitious, totally actionable game. It builds real skills, and more importantly, it builds real momentum towards that bigger vision.
This, right here, this is the ultimate reframe. We have to stop asking what's realistic. Instead, ask yourself this. What's the most ambitious game I can fully, 100% commit to for the next 90 days? What's the one thing that will build the foundation for my ultimate victory? What's going to make my impossible dreams start to look absolutely inevitable?
You see, by defining your vision and choosing your game, you're literally creating your next reality. You're no longer just a player in someone else's story. You're the writer, the director, the star of your own. So the only real question left to ask is, what game will you play?